Yeah, yeah. It was got a text message this morning from Brad Lorondo about what had happened, that Coach Smith had passed away. I think we all know. You can go back and you can look at the football part of things. It goes well beyond that. At least from my experience with him, getting a chance as the head coach to be able to meet him, knowing about him, knowing his history. I've always known that, but to really have a true personal relationship with him. Lyle is one of those, maybe one of the most unselfish people that I've been around, and has this fantastic ability of making everyone around him feel good. An incredible memory for the guys that played, an experience of some kind, whether it was just one story, but that one story was always fascinating, and whatever person he was talking about that might be there, you could always just see him, the emotion really kind of set back in, and it was always genuine. It was unbelievable. So what he meant to our team, he came out and he spoke to us a few times. I mean, the one that he spoke, before the Washington game and got the guys fired up, you can just see that emotion, and our guys always fed from it. That was one of the things I pay attention to our team, and not everybody can do this, but when Lyle came in, they were on the edge of their seats, and they paid attention to what he had to say, and there was so much respect. It was unbelievable that he had the opportunity to see the statue that we have of him out there. I think that's something that was probably more special than the statue itself, is that he is there and actually gets a chance to see it and to reflect on it. But he's meant so much to the program. We know that. I think he's meant so much more to people, and they have had a chance to be in his presence and be around him. And so, I know it's hard for our team. There was a mass text message sent out from Taylor Tharp today to our team, and I know those guys are sitting at home right now and probably smiling and reflecting and just thinking about what an awesome chance they have had to get to know him and to be around him and to be a part of his life. So he's meant a lot. He's meant a lot to me, and just those short conversations and a one or two little pieces of advice have made all the difference. And the mentality that he had every single day when he was around us, whether he came in the weight room and worked out, and Brandon Pringle was with him every single day, and he's in there, or he's in his new wheelchair when he came for the last time and spoke to the team, and everybody just gathered around, and every single one of those guys shook his hand, and walked out of there again with another piece of advice that they're going to carry over for the rest of their lives. So an incredible man.
When you think of 101 years, and he coached the basketball team for a year, and then the football team, then he left for the war and came back, and then was AD. I mean, can you think of encompassing that much into someone's life, what all he accomplished?
No, if you think about that now, think about today. Think about if you had a coach right now that was a Division I football coach, or a coach. He coached basketball. He went off and had to serve his country, comes back and does all the things, was an athletic director. I mean, think about that. Think about how much went into what he did. And it doesn't matter then or now. Those responsibilities are still the same. And the work that he had to put in, I think about that a lot. I think about how much work he had to really put in to accomplish those things and to be as successful at them as he was. And then the story, like I was talking about, the relationships he had with people, to know all these things about him, being in this position, that might be the most work of all. And I know that I can see it in my mind of him just giving his time to so many people and making a difference. And that's all he ever did for us. It was never about, it was always about giving. It was always about some type of experience that he could share with somebody. 101 years old, when he came in there and he's talking about, oh, my legs aren't working as good, and he's, we're kind of joking about it, and I'm like, Coach, you've done really well, but his mind, you can see it's there, and just he talks about our team, he talks about our schedule, he talks about where he thinks we need to be, and he would throw things out there that you had no idea that he paid attention to, and it was right on point. And I know as a staff, we'd walk out of there and he would say something, and we'd be like, how do you know that? How do you pay attention to some of those things? Because there's things that we've been discussing with ourselves and what we want to share with the team. So lived a wonderful life, and I know so many people in the community and guys that he coached and are around. right now that are taking a lot of time just thinking about it, reflecting, and on the difference he made in their lives.
You know, in order to have a statue, you obviously really have to earn it. But
yeah,
I guess how fitting is it that for somebody that meant so much to the foundation of Boise State football, that's pretty much the first thing you see when you walk into Albertson Stadium?
Absolutely. And what do you do when you roll into any place and there's a statue? What's the first thing, whether you have any idea where you're at or who the people are, you want to know who that guy is. And it's got Lyle Smith. All right, well, who's that? And that's going to be the first thing that people think about. You know, well, why is this guy on there? What did he do? And whether they Google or ask questions, it doesn't matter. You know, that's part of his legacy, that's going to continue. And it's something that when our players come in, we bring new recruits and they go by it. Well, who was this guy? You know, what did he do? Well, you know, boom, boom, boom. You can talk about the program from there. And we're in the position that we're in today because of, you know, visions, leadership, and experiences that Lyle helped create for Boise State. So you absolutely earn it. You don't get a statue without earning it. And I think that's one of the things, at least I felt when we had that unveiling for him and he was there, a little bit of that, a little bit of, you know, he's put in the work. He put the work in to put himself or to have an opportunity to have something like that on campus.
You touched on it just a little bit there, but David Moe was saying that he came in every Wednesday and worked out with Pringle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't remember exactly. When I got here, I remember meeting with Lyle and we were talking, and he was driving still at that time. And he said he'd go to the rec center and work out. And it was funny because he's like, you know, I try to keep it tight up here a little bit in the chest. I don't want to get it all sloppy. And I'm laughing. I'm like, wow, okay. You know, good for you. And then I said, you know what? You need to come over into our facility. I'm like, we have a fantastic weight room. Why don't you come over there and lift? Because here's a guy that's done so much. He needs to be in that facility. There's a reason why there's a facility like that, and I think it's a huge part of what Lyle had done for the program. So he would come over every Wednesday. Pringle would work out with him, and that continued even when he stopped driving. Then, you know, Pringle or Tyson Gale, you know, they would go over there and pick him up or take him home. And I know this. I wasn't there at every workout, but I know, you know, Brandon Pringle and Tyson, those guys, they get to hear some stories, and they would just, after every time he left, they'd be sitting there like, how'd it go today? And they're like, Coach can't even tell you. It's amazing. You know, it'd be one of those things where they just get probably some life lessons that not many people would have an opportunity to get. And I know Lyle appreciated it, being around there, and every time we saw him and the players got a chance to see him, he'd be upstairs riding the bike. And guys, as you walk through, you guys know the facility, you can look down in there. They'd see him, and, you know, our players would be shaking their head, and they're like, I hope I'm like that when I'm his age. I think they all said that, and so he was inspiring from that standpoint as well.
To have him, you know, last couple of years be around the program, you know, so much just, you know, whether you, like you said, working out or talking to you guys or being to practice, how did that translate to the players and to the coaches just to have him around? Massive
respect for him, one, to see that. You know, you know, he's 98, he's 99. You know, we're singing happy birthday to him. We're giving him jerseys. He's talking to the team. You know, everybody knows. I mean, here he is, and, you know, you're waiting. I think the first time, you know, we sing him happy birthday. He's going to talk to the team and all that. And I think guys are kind of going, all right, what's he going to have to say? You know, he's 98 years old, and then bang, you know, he comes out with this speech, and they're all like, wow, you know, this guy's on it. And you could see right there. You could see him all like, you know, he's physically older right now, but they could all envision right then and there this guy standing up in front of him and leading. And so instant respect at that point for those guys that hadn't met him. And they look forward to seeing him every time. And he'd come to a practice if he was over there by the Hall of Fame and sitting out there. Guys would run over there, go shake his hand, say what's up to him. So there was true appreciation and respect for when he was around. And